Hello, welcome to the Loney Show. I'm your host, John Loney, and in this episode, I brought some regular Risk 11. And as for our guest, he is from LA, but currently living in Colorado Springs. He's an author. Well, and there's so much more that we're going to get into, but other than that, ladies and gentlemen, Wayne McFarlane.
Hey, Big John, greetings in John Bull country. You know, I love England, except your beer is warm. Other than that, you guys are great.
Cool. So, how's life?
Well, it's good. You know, we sold a company that we had, a software company, and that's when I decided to write Tales from the Day. You know, the rather unexpected memoir, I guess, according to the critics.
Oh, cool. So, what got you inspired to write this book?
Well, you know, John, I've always loved to read, and we sold our company, and I thought, now is my chance because I've always loved memoirs and biographies and stuff. So I started reading them, and my God, John, most memoirs really suck. I mean, they're really bad. Most of them are wrapped around things like, I gazed into the distance, saw the horizon, and said, there
Oh my
lies my
gosh.
future. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. You know, I've found, at least in my life anyway, that things look perfectly orderly in retrospect, but at the
Yeah.
time, it's messy. You're just kind of stumbling from one bog to the next, and doing the best you can with it. So I decided I'd try try to write a real memoir full of things like pitching a loan shark for money and shark fishing in your underwear, stuff like that.
Yeah. So, what was your life like growing up?
Well, I think the thing that drove me to California was spent a lot of my time growing up on my grandfather's farm in South Dakota, which is in the mid United States. And let's just say that you look in the dictionary under subsistence farming, and you see my grandfather's farm. So it taught me two things. One was how to work, and the second was that I never wanted to farm again in my entire life.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so Risk, since you're here, is anything you want to ask Wayne about his work as an author?
Uh, I'm sure I'll dive into it once we hear more about it. As I just got in
Hey, Risk, how are you?
not bad.
Well, anything you want to ask, except things involving undressing, I'm good with.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
So
All right, gentlemen.
Why don't we start and get into what made you want to start writing your book?
Well, most of it was I just got disgusted with, as generations age, let's put it that way. Everyone, myself included, I guess, starts to think that everyone really wants to hear how things used to be. And in fact, no one cares. No one cares. I don't care that you used to be able to leave your bicycle on the lawn and no one would steal it. Or as a kid, you went out and played games until sunset. People got other stuff to worry about. So
True.
I thought, if you can write something about that's kind of universal, about the craziness of life and the humor in it, hopefully it'll have some resonance. Because I happen to believe that no matter what the moaning of the sociologists, that as human beings, we haven't changed much or at all. Whereas certain things, from pratfalls to other things, we still find funny, and certain situations we find stressful or embarrassing, and they generally know that the circumstances around them may vary, but the humor and stuff generated from particular circumstances, that's the same. You people still enjoy a Midsummer's Night, and I think at least I enjoy that more than Romeo and Juliet. So
Yeah, I totally agree. They totally, yeah. Certain people do like different types of books and different types.
Well, yeah, but only really classy, intelligent people like my book. So there you go. I hear the crickets chirping, gentlemen.
So, sorry, go on.
I was going to say the proper response to a totally self-serving comment like that is, "Oh yes, absolutely, we agree. Only intelligent, sensitive people like books like yours." Speaking of which, it can be purchased on Amazon. There's a completely shameless plug.
Yeah, so how's that actually fair for you? See as well, like you used to be able to go into bookstores and that, and now that's kind of like non-existent. Has that affected it by much?
Yeah, it's really, the bookstore thing.
Or was your book released before the bookstore or like after?
It was really right before COVID hit. Perfect timing, right? And so, bookstores here in the States anyway have had a terrible time because people just didn't go into them. And so the majority of books now, I believe, are sold online, like mine, which is called Tales from the Day. And gentlemen, if you want to get a jump on your holiday shopping, you can probably order, 50 or 60 copies at a good price. And then no worries for the holidays. Just give them to your friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. In a pig's eye. Sure. Like that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you do in your free time?
Well, now there's a question for the ages. Right now, I really don't have much because there's something going on with the book, and I had expanded it by a number of chapters. So this group of folks, allegedly, there's a movie involved, but I tell my wife, just watch for the flying pig. When a flying pig shows up circling our house, that's the thing that's got our movie contract. Haven't seen it yet, but anyway, I was asked to re-narrate the book because I'd added chapters to it. So, as you gentlemen know from running a podcast, that's really time-consuming. So,
yeah,
absolutely.
Just noticing how much episodes we've got planned in the coming weeks, it does think like how much time do we really have a lot of time on our hands after?
Yeah, it just seems. Why are you guys busy? All you do is just talk into a pipe. What takes so long about that? Oh, yeah.
There's back end. There's like other stuff to do with it as well.
Oh,
like rearranging guests, finding guests.
Yeah.
Scheduling dates.
It's tremendous. I don't remember what the ratio is of studio time, editing time to actual speaking, but for narration, it's anywhere from 4 to 10 to 1. So if you do, if you narrate for a day, to edit that can be 30 days or 45 days. It takes a long time, as you know.
Yeah. So is there any new books you're working on currently?
Well, in a sense, I was asked to write a follow-up, and I did a bunch of chapters, and as I'm sure you guys have experienced, and I am just not, there are authors who can sit down and imagine Hogwarts and everything that goes with it. I'm not one of those. I'm more of a feature writer kind of guy. So, I wrote up the episodes that basically happened to me, and I thought were either had some pathos or humor. And I finished that up. I wrote, I don't know, a bunch of extra chapters. And gentlemen, one day I just sat down and I said, I'm done. And then I can come up with other stuff, but it'd be sheer invention. And I think it would show through the work. So I just went back to publisher and said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to expand book 1 by a whole bunch of chapters and call it a day. So that's what we did. So the expanded book, Tales from the Day, in print is up on Amazon, and the revised audio version should be done and up. We're almost done by the end of February. So, hooray for us! Then
What's the
I'll
book
have
about?
free time.
Great.
Yeah.
Can
So-
we
Sorry.
dive into about like what the book's about? Like, what's the story?
Well, when I started out, I basically wrote it in episodes, and I was telling your colleague things like the day we lost 10 grand at the Hollywood sign, or the day Johnny Cash hit on my wife, and the day we went shark fishing in our underwear, or the day we blew town with the monkey. And so, I was writing those up, and the publisher said, "What are you, nuts? You smoking weed out there in Colorado? Nobody. You got to have a narrative arc. You got to have a book that starts with you getting cancer or something, and then all the tribulations you go through, and you arrive out, successful at the other end." And I said, "Nah. We're living in a 240 character world." And so we put it out there as now 28 chapters, each complete in themselves of some weird event. And by golly, it kind of hit. So now I went overnight from being a hero to a bum. Oh, how brilliant and forward thinking, to create a book. And a friend of mine called and said, "You know what you've done? You've created a really great bathroom book, because people can take it in the loo and take a dump and read a complete story and not worry about finding their place the next time."
That doesn't seem like the thing, the compliment that you want to hear about your book.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't tell if I was insulted or complimented on it. So that's kind of it. So it's a series of episodes. Most of them I like to think humorous. A few not, like the day they tried to kill us in Arkansas. That one's not too funny, but they kind of run the range of stuff. So that's what it was. And apparently, there's enough crazy people around that enjoy that kind of stuff that we've been doing okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's strange, and it is English, which means, man, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, the US, Canada, I'm there.
Are you trying to get into English speaking to like other countries like Brazil, like Portugal, like with audio,
Well,
like different languages?
yeah, not really, because if most buyers of as print, I don't know how you guys do with listenership in other countries, but my experience has been that most folks who listen to podcasts or want to buy an audiobook or whatever, they want it in language. And unless you got a huge market, I mean, it'd be like you guys hiring somebody who speaks Portuguese so you can go into Brazil. Probably not so much,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I'm just gonna. They wanted me to narrate it, so I narrated it, and then I'm doing the editing on it as well, just because I wanted to have a certain rhythm and stuff to it, and like all egotistic authors, I think I know best. So there you go.
Yeah.
What's the
Like,
best way to start your morning?
What's that?
Sorry. What's the best way to start your morning?
No, I do not put Bailey's Irish cream into my coffee. No. I actually bought a treadmill. I'm in Colorado, and I'm telling you, you go out here and walk around on the ice, and it's the best way to do a face plant. So, I bought a treadmill. So getting up in the morning and watching the news of the world going to hell and getting into the walking in is a pretty good way to start, I think.
It has been going to hell lately, to be honest.
Oh, man, no kidding. Is England finally lifting COVID restrictions?
Yes. In fact,
the UK,
maybe,
yeah, kind of.
yeah, I heard an announcement saying that either this month or next month, all restrictions are going to be lifted completely. So we're entering the phase we're going to live with COVID.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing that here too. Cases are really dropping, and my wife of some decades is a molecular biologist, and she was saying that the Omicron variant, which was so virulent, so infectious, but if you're vaccinated, you're not an idiot, and you're vaccinated, wouldn't kill you or put you in the hospital, was actually a good thing because it was a survival of the virus by infecting everybody, which means another virus that's deadly probably isn't going to have a chance to get a hold of us because, Omicron doesn't kill the host, at least not much, unless you're unvaccinated. But then you're not dying of Omicron, you're dying of stupidity.
Yep.
Cool.
There is a weird how there's people that don't want to get vaccinated, but again, that's another topic. Like, it's just because maybe they don't like they don't want to get a needle by the government, or maybe they're conspiracy theorists, or
Yeah. I kind of think they did a survey here and interviewed a bunch of people who were actually dying in the hospital. That was a little macabre from COVID. And, they found the actual percentage of whack jobs that were anti-vaccine because they were going to have microchips put in their body and all that was actually very small. But most people they found who didn't get vaccinated were just kind of, well, I got busy and I meet my friends at the pub every day and I just didn't get around to it. So,
yeah.
I'm kind of the opinion that all the folks who really were tuned in got vaccinated and got boosted and all that kind of stuff. But there is a certain percentage of people who just kind of, wander on with their life and yeah, I've kind of heard about it, but it's sort of a
I
pain.
guess France is trying to make it like next to impossible for the people that are not vaccinated to live.
Yeah.
Not so sure that's a good strategy, though.
Yeah, no. The problem, of course, is that if you do catch it, it can really screw you up, kill you.
Yeah.
But, the odds of getting it with so many other people vaccinated, they've fallen. But that's still no reason not to do it. But yeah, you're right about that. But there's
questions, Jamie?
What?
I was going to say, as the pandemic goes away, there's going to be a certain percentage of really smug people saying, I didn't get vaccinated and I'm fine. Well, that's because everybody else got vaccinated.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
If it gets you, it's your problem.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen, to be honest. There's bound to be someone that's going to claim, oh, I didn't have a vaccination and I'm fine.
Yeah. Well, we're having a bunch of remodeling work done at our house. And my wife and I, we won't let people in unless they're vaccinated. And we're vaccinated. But, so the worst that could happen, allegedly, is we'd get sick. I don't want to get sick. So if somebody shows up and they're unvaccinated, I just tell them get in their truck and, go have a beer someplace else. Just leave. I don't want you coming in. And, that's kind of where I'm at. Grumpy old man, right? Shouting at the neighborhood kids to get off my lawn.
Whatever keeps you young, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm sure it keeps you young when you shouting. You need to keep young anyway.
Yeah, well, one can. You reach my point in life, and one can hope. So far, so good. But so, how long you guys been doing a podcast? I looked over your stuff; it looks pretty good.
I've been doing it for Jamie. This is actually the first season or the second season of his podcast. Because Jamie just launched his pretty much last month, January.
Yeah,
wasn't it? But but the rest of them doing it for about a year or something like that, or about 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm
That's,
only just getting started.
well, that's great, but you're living examples of the episodes in my book where I'll bet that a few years back, if somebody had pulled up to the curb or passed you some beer at the football game and said, "What are you going to be doing in 2021?" You would not have said, "Running a podcast." I suspect.
True.
Yeah,
Fair point.
it's the way it works. And a lot of people ask me, "Well, you got involved with all this crap. How'd you do it?" I said, "I didn't do it. It's just that something would come along and you say, okay, I'm going to try that." And then the guano starts hitting the turbine,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's an example of what you're doing, and who knows where it could take you. I mean, podcasts are really, some of them are really, really going.
Oh yeah.
What our goal is with this, is we're wanting to have multiple different podcasts. We've got 3 under our belt right now, but we're looking to have about maybe 10, 5 years from now or something like that.
Yeah.
Bringing on more people and just. I'm fancying doing a podcast with just 2 girls talking, because that seems to be doing pretty well, to be honest with
you. Yeah, I agree.
When you've got a couple different personalities bouncing stuff off each other, I think it's a great way to go. And I love the podcast universe because I was in local radio for some years, and there's just nothing like it. So, I'm glad to see it getting so popular.
Yeah. Fabuloso.
I still think podcasters are still pretty early, even though I think we're in the 3rd iteration of podcasts. I would say maybe 2nd. It's still pretty early, in my opinion. Podcasts, it can only go up here from here. Joe Rogan, just seeing what he's done, he's making he's getting offered 100 million just to sign with a new company.
Yeah.
That, just think about that with even if we got a small smidgen of that, it'll be pretty interesting.
Well, you gotta start somewhere, and
That's
you're rolling now. So, and every day that goes by, you put something new out. One more day, continue to grow. So bravo from Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado.
You want to ask him, Jamie?
Yeah. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Good one. Well, I have always viewed it as such. But hey, is fish and chips a meal?
Good point.
Yeah.
See?
I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes you just have it as a snack or whatever. But yeah, it's a 50-50.
I would say it's as a snack, but I would say maybe as a meal or something like that.
Yeah,
I think you're right about the meal part. I wouldn't say it as a snack though.
I go back far enough that the first time I was in England, they were still serving the chips in newspapers, and they'd get ink on them from the newsprint. I mean, I'm dating myself.
Such a vibe.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be doing that anymore, though.
Yeah,
always cardboard boxes now.
Yeah, and we're better off for it too, I must say. So, yeah, we're hoping to get back over. Well, with COVID, we haven't been able to. We haven't wanted actually to travel that much, but it sounds like things are really opening up, which I'm delighted because we love going to the theater in London and wandering across to Paris now and again. But we're thinking about coming into London and doing that, and then maybe getting up north a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Have you ever done any book tours or book press releases, anything? Could you maybe if you have could you maybe dive into them and how they went?
Well,
or are they not such a thing anymore?
Well, there's really not, with COVID, I tell you, it just bagged all that stuff. And there were some showings and tours and stuff that they wanted me to go on, and then COVID hit, and that was it. I mean, nobody wanted to sponsor anything in case, the author goes out there and either infects people or dies. Then the sponsoring company, would be
like brand or social suicide.
Yeah, no kidding. And so now, to answer your question, I don't think we're going to see that come back for probably a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad because it's kind of fun. I had some speaking engagements and things, and that was really fun. But now, nobody you can throw a speaking engagement and have a gunfight in the hall, and you won't hit anybody because there's nobody there.
Do you think that'll actually come back though, as good as what it used to be in that?
Yeah,
or do you think it's like that's gone for good now?
Nah, I really do. Human beings, we all love to go to the football game and go places and reading the history of the 1918 pandemic, which really, for example, hit the UK very hard. It took a while.
Was it similar to this though, or was it worse? Was the 19 pandemic, was it similar to this, or was it worse?
Actually, it was a bit worse, I think. Yeah, it was really, really bad. Millions of people died. And some years after that, it kind of ebbed in 1918, 1919. Then it was the roaring 20s, and people pretty much just went back to living like they wanted to live. And I think that's going to happen here too. Although with the media and stuff and people being able to access the news more, I think people are probably a bit more hesitant. But yeah, I think 5 years from now, even 3 years from now, it'll be like it never happened.
I'm sure there'll be tons of people trying to forget what happened.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Count me among them. Last couple of years, have pretty much sucked.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But got you guys into podcasting, so how bad can it be?
True.
Yeah, I guess so.
Definitely fun to do the episodes, getting to talk to new people and experiencing like what other people like to talk about.
Yep. And I think you're wise to, we found each other through that service that matches podcasters with potential people to interview, and I think that was a good move on your part to get involved with that because
that was Jamie that got us into that. Like he's the guy like sources all our episodes, all our guests basically.
Yeah. Well, that was a good move because you get a lot of exposure, and I even got booked on one show. As it turns out, it was a guy who believed in flying saucers. Now that gentleman,
that must have been an interesting episode.
That was an interview for the ages, I got to tell you.
Oh man!
And the guy says, "I'm looking at your chapters in your book. I don't see any episodes about being probed by our alien friends." and how do you respond to that? I'm pretty good at question. This, but I was really speechless. I said, "Well, maybe they shot me full of forgetfulness fluid, and I just forgot about it. It's possible." But
true.
So I got to admit, and if you're curious about my experience with aliens, don't ask.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yep. So that's been it. But I think you got a winning formula going, and I've had a chance to talk to, thankfully, to a number of podcasters, and I think having a dual formula going is a pretty good direction from what I'm able to see.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So what do you
I'm not even a regular on, like, I don't even appear in all the episodes. Like, we've got other people to appear in them as well. Like, to be honest with you, like, we only do should we explain like what we've got with it, with that thing, Jamie? Because I know you've got like a bunch of different people that come on the podcast now and again.
You mean with my podcast and
who I
bring
explain
on?
It with yours.
Yeah. So basically, what I do is I have a group of people called the regulars who make at least one episode appearance per season. and I only bring him on to like chat with the other guests.
Oh,
Yeah, so
well, that's
Risk
cool.
is
Yeah.
so Risk is one of the regulars. I'm planning, and I do plan to have him appearing on with other guests in the future, alongside other regulars like Eric Taylor, Facey, Asparagus. And I'm planning on to bring on more regulars too, and actually have more regulars on each season,
Yeah.
episode.
I kind of wanted to let him be like have his own like thing, like see what his own flow was, learn basically how he wanted to freaking do his podcast basically on the first season, because I didn't want to intervene too much to let him have his freedom.
Yeah.
There's no point in me getting in all episodes and him stepping on his toes and not letting him have his freedom to do what he is.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with what he's done with the podcast. Like, it's interesting, to say the least.
Well, that's it. And one great thing about social media, it's got a lot of drawbacks, like it can wreck your life. But
True.
one of the great things about it is that if word starts to spread about something, like, well, your
Catches fire
podcast,
instantly.
yeah, it can really go. So,
Oh yeah.
doing that ignition, of course, is the hard part. So, but I don't know. Maybe you need to come up with a gig. You know who Howard Stern is?
Wait, ain't he that famous like freaking CEO? Ain't he the guy that created Lockheed and Martin, that airplane company?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. The Howard Stern, you're thinking Howard Hughes, I think. Howard Stern is a broadcaster who, is really popular in the States and has been for years. But he really took off when he had a young lady come in and undress, and he described it. So, there's an opening for you guys.
Yeah.
That's the best suggestion I can make today, and it's not original.
Yeah. So, what is your opinion on sending mail to Bigfoot?
Sending mail to where?
Sending mail to Bigfoot.
Big who?
Bigfoot.
Big Spot?
No, Bigfoot.
Does he even exist?
Feet. Like what you walk on.
I can't get that. Let's blame it on the iPhone.
Okay. What is your opinion on sending mail to Bigfoot?
What I'm hearing is Big Spot. I can't imagine.
What?
Bigfoot,
Big Spot? I said Bigfoot. Foot.
Big Sports.
No!
Is that right?
He's saying foot.
Foot.
Bigfoot.
Like
That's what he's saying.
Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bigfoot. As in,
I don't get that question either, if I'm truly being honest.
You're sure he isn't logging in from the pub somewhere?
Who, him?
I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just saying,
Well, I'm going to have to go on the record as being neutral on that issue.
Well, anyway, that's all we have for this episode. It was great having you here, Wayne. It was, interesting. It was really good.
Well, I enjoyed it, gentlemen. I appreciate the shot, and
No problem.
really, it was great fun, and really, I wish you the absolute best. I think you're going to do well.
Cheers.
Thank you. And
Cheers,
until
gentlemen.
next time,
Bye.
you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yes, until next time.
Bye.
Until next time, stay tuned for more.
Okay, gentlemen. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.